Mr. Das, I'm going to come to you. Sachin made a very bright point about how increasingly in a disrupted industry or a disrupted world, we are now with this work from home concept and digital workspaces really blurring the lines between the physical and the digital. So these two worlds have collided to an extent where the new norm or the new reality is entirely different. Now, at the helm of one of India's largest, in fact, India's largest privately held media companies, uh, and the media being as important as it is in today's day and age, how have you planned, strategized, and pretty much architected this entire operating model, sir?
Sure, Arjun. So first of all, good morning, all of you. And at the outset, let me wish each one of you who's watching this panel discussion and each one of your family members the best of safety and health at these trying times. These are not very normal times for us. These are unprecedented times, and any such uncommon times require uncommon wisdom. So I think as business professionals, we have been talking about this VUCA business environment being the new normal for quite some time now. But what we are seeing today is not only unprecedented, I think it's none of us have ever wondered or even thought of that we'll be getting into a situation where a lot of things which we have invested in the organization in terms of building capabilities and preparing the organization for this kind of a disruption will go wrong. For example, an organization of our vintage, the Times Group, we are 185-year-old organization, and we take pride in talking about the fact that we are 185-year-old startup. And the fact that we take pride in saying that is because we not only have a rich legacy of processes, culture, wisdom, but also we have the very high level of innovativeness. At the same time, as an organization, we are extremely agile to make changes much before, much ahead of times, which has helped us not only to sustain the print industry in India beyond anybody could think of. Because if you look at the various researchers, they've took inputs from what happened in the rest of the part of the globe of the print industry getting declining, and they thought that in India also we'll be following a similar curve. But thanks to our innovativeness and the way we have pulled the innovation levers much ahead of times, that helped us not only to sustain our organization, but to sustain the entire media sector as a whole. So what I'm trying to say is, even an organization which is such a high degree of innovativeness and the kind of agility that we have demonstrated over a period of time, while we have actually pressed the business continuity process button, even before the first case of coronavirus or COVID-19 infection was reported in India, we started sending the advisories, we started ensuring the business contingency plans, we started taking various preventive measures. While we had ensured the operational continuity, and we ensured that immediately 50% of the employees start working away from office, either remotely or from their home. But what hit us badly, or what came as a jolt to us, is when we found that suddenly this social media started talking about this fake myth of newspapers being carrier of coronavirus.
Oh.
That came as a jolt to us. And you must have seen a lot of brand campaigns that we immediately pressed on, starting to actually drive away this psychological barrier in the mind of people saying that newspaper is safe. And that has been reinforced and endorsed by a lot of public figures, a lot of politicians, ministers, and the PM's office himself, okay? And the celebrities also talking about holding the newspaper and saying, I'm reading the newspaper, it is safe. But the other thing that you have to keep in mind in a sector like this is, and it has come directly from the Honorable Prime Minister, saying that newspaper is the most authentic source of information. Especially in trying times like this, you must not depend on this social media messaging and the various information that keeps floating around, because you don't know to the degree of authenticity of this news that you are consuming throughout the day.
So true.
So you have to actually depend on newspaper, and that gives us an onerous responsibility as an organization.
So indeed true.
That we reach our product to the doorstep of the reader every day in the morning at predefined time before 6:30 every day morning, day in, day out.